the official headgear of atheism. Yeah, I tried to, I was doing a shave job on myself, and I fucked up the back and haven't fixed it yet, so wearing the hat. I've been trying to edit a video that I did yesterday, and in it I started talking about the Sun Music Festival and how there wasn't a real thing. And I went around looking for memes that had to do, and there used to be a bunch of them, that had to do with Holocaust survivors' stories, you know, like the some of the ones, the more outrageous claims, like the bear and eagle cage, the masturbation machine, like the things that were just completely like retarded. And I couldn't find any of the memes. There used to be tons of them. Tried Yandex searching. So I'm like, all right, well, I'll go to the Bolivian basket weeding forum. I'm sure those guys have some in their folders. Made a post requesting if people would be nice enough to dump their folders for me. And I got banned before I even made the post, and it was an interesting wording here. Illegal in some parts of the world. I think the title was, what did I say? Holocaust survivor lies. I'm looking for the, you know, that's what it is. Some of the lies that some of these Holocaust survivors came up with in their memoirs and things like that. So, yeah, I've never had that happen before. Now, it could be a mistake because sometimes being out here in the islands, I catch bans just for the IP. But it makes me think like it is illegal in many parts of the world to question that event. You can go to jail, you know. In America, we can still talk about it for now, you know. And but the way it was worded was like, this material is illegal in some parts of the world. Well, that shuts down a lot of the talk about the event, even on that site. And I wonder if it has anything to do with like this new legislation that they're pushing through, trying to criminalize any discussion or criticism of Israel. It's kind of weird. So I don't know if I was banned by mistake because of the IP thing, because I'm not dumb enough to ever post anything that's you know, willfully bannable. But the problem with these the bans from social media, and my last couple of YouTube bans especially, is the last ban I got, this one from a couple weeks ago, was for hate speech. But the thing is, I wasn't even in the video. I was just I uploaded a clip that comes from just the internet, you know, about these Israeli teachers teaching their students about, or they're quizzing their students on what they learned about how to deal with Arabs and what's going to happen with the Third Temple. And, you know, they weren't saying terrible things like, you know, I want to kill them or something, but they were just like putting down the Arabs. Nothing that I would think would be bannable, but it was a bad look, you know, because the Israeli teachers at the end were like all happy, like, oh, look at the good job we did, we're teaching them well. They don't want people seeing that. I understand it, but if you were to look at my record, I now have on my record it says I was banned for hate speech. The prior ban was very much the same thing. I posted a video that was just around the internet, I wasn't even in, of a rabbi that seemingly, you couldn't see it because it was off camera, but he was seemingly abusing a young black child. On camera he's getting rough with him and he pulls him toward himself and you can't see it, it's off camera. Well, I got banned for child abuse. Now looking at my fucking CV, if you're looking at my offenses, I've been banned for child abuse and hate speech. It sounds horrible, but I wasn't in either video. It was their own fucking people doing it. But that's how it stands. Like if you're a social media company or anyone that they did some kind of like how they have in China, their social credit scores and stuff, you'll see that I was banned from YouTube for hate speech and child abuse. The other videos are similar. Like the other bannings I got were for little things that they picked out and they used them out of context. Like I titled one video, Where We Go One, We Go All. What it was about was when you die, how you don't actually move on. We all have to move on together. And people aren't held in a purgatory because outside of this 3D area, in my opinion, there is no time. So we all move on together. So where we go one, we go all. It was a popular saying at the time that had to do with Trump and the Q stuff. So they saw the title of the video and got me for inciting violence, even though it had nothing to do with any of that stuff. So if you were to look at my record, it looks like I'm a fucking crazy man. You know, you would think, why is this guy even so allowed on YouTube? Because it's all incidental kind of bullshit. The other one was, one of the others was medical misinformation, because I was speculating on what could be in the shot there. It was just speculation. You know, and I would say too, as I always do, if you've seen any of my stuff, I was like, I don't know, this is, you know, I'm not a doctor, blah, 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 couch. But I was 100% right at the time. I think just because of the fact they banned me for it, it tells me that I was on the right track about what I was saying. And it turns out evidence for that being true is just, you know, piled up. But, at the time, they got me for medical misinformation. So my record looks pretty bad. But I didn't do any of those things that they're attributing to me, you know. So it kind of sucks, like, you know. But hey, spiritual warfare, man. There are no rules, you know, because that's what this really is. I mean, spiritual warfare. So, yeah, so trying to get some memes for that video, I ran into that on the Bolivian basket weaving forum. Kind of weird. Like, is it like, is it telling me that I should probably abandon that, like not do the video? I don't know. I did another video about it, the Sun Music thing, that I ended up just deleting because I said I can't use this. I can't, you know. I'd never go, I'm very careful about what I say. You know, if you watch me for any period of time, you'll know that I'm always very careful. Some people don't have to do this. They can just say what they want and they're fine. Because those people are controlled. They're a controlled opposition. They're, you know, a lot of that on YouTube. I talk about it in the pop culture spaces, but it's beyond pop culture spaces. There are assets all over YouTube. You know, and people think, you know, you're a CIA asset, like you're some like born ultimatum kind of guy in a you know, three-piece suit. No, they're schlubs. Anyone can be an asset, you know. A lot of times they use as patsies, they use just information. So there's a lot of assets on YouTube. They don't get in trouble. They can do whatever the fuck they want. A guy with under 300 subscribers, have a microscope on me. And I have for the past 3 years. So I'm doing something they don't like. But the way, and this goes to spiritual war, the spiritual war rules, they can't just throw me off. I have to like walk into a trap. I have to do it to myself. That's how all this stuff works. They can't just aggress on you and do whatever they want. They have to create a paradigm that allows you to do it to yourself. And then if you're not careful, you do it to yourself. So I just pray to the Lord, like may the traps others set for me be the ones they fall into themselves. That's not a direct quote. That's I fucked that up, but the spirit of the quote is there, I believe. I gotta run into Longs for a second. I'll be right back. And I hate talking about the JQ. I try not to. You know, I try to avoid that because they're real sensitive, you know. But they're just up to a lot of evil shit lately. Well, more than normal, which is a lot. But so yeah, I know I've gotten on what is that? The JIDF. I've never gotten on their radar before. I've definitely gotten guys that were like, that you can tell were from there, you know, just by the way they're at. Like this other guy here, I posted an older video about NoFap. And the reason I even made this video is because I was in someone else's comment section where I talked about it. And I got like a crazy amount of attention, like, and I was talking to people on the comment, and I'm like, yeah, you know, I'm sick of doing a video on this, explaining my, you know, what happened, what I did, you know. And they're like, yeah, do it, I'd like to see it, I'd like to watch it. And then I did it, and it got like 20 views. So I'm like, well, maybe I could, I'll repost it again and see if anyone's interested. I've been mixing it up, like putting new episodes as old ones, because I do a video every day, and you know, some of them just get lost in the shuffle. So yeah, I posted that, and this one's doing a little better. Usually I don't really watch that stuff, like about how many people watch. I don't really, none of that matters to me at all. Just in the case of this one, I was watching it because you know, I talked to people that are doing it, and then I wanted to see if more people were interested in seeing it. And in the comments, if you want to know what a JIDF guy sounds like, this guy here. It has the Steve Buscemi with the skateboard and hat meme. You see, us guys have to, you know, we gotta release cattle, guys. You see it, you know. All the disinformation causes prostate cancer. That the things that are important to them, they really defend. They get mad about circumcision. They get really mad when you attack porn. You know, they're some of their main money grips, you know, and control grips. I don't want to engage with them. Like there's so many other things to talk about, but sometimes they do things that are just so egregious that you have to talk about them, and they're so intrinsically tied to the spiritual war, because those guys are the bagmen for some very bad forces. And while people give them too much credit, I think, as far as like those people that are just like, it's the Jews, you know, it is, but it isn't. Like they're just the low-rung dudes doing the mechanical work, doing the actual doing of the deeds. The actual plans are made way above them by people you'll never see. They're almost like jail cover for the evil forces of the universe. It's like Corey and Trevor from Trailer Park Boys. Like if shit goes bad, they're the ones that go to jail. It's the same kind of thing, you know. And they're involved in so many things now that it's hard not to talk about them, you know, or not to at least make mention of them in some way. But it's becoming harder and harder to do that, because they're aware that a lot of the world is starting to look at them kind of sideways and rubbing their chin, like, that's a fucking, what are these guys all about? You know what I mean? You start to see that more, especially with this with this Gaza thing, it's like, ah, man. And some of us can see it. Like, we can look right at it, see right through it, and know exactly what happened. Like, oh yeah, this isn't, Palestinians have nothing to do with this. This is all concocted on their side. They fake attack themselves so they could go to a fake war to clear out the area for a fake country. It's very much textbook how they do these things. And it's been going on for a long time. I will say this one seemed to go off without a hitch. There's not a lot of smoking guns in this one because it was in their country, under their control. The ones they do here in America, the false flags in here, it's like they're not even trying. In fact, I feel like sometimes I wonder if they're, you know, purposely fucking up so that people like me will go down endless rabbit holes. It gets us out of their hair for a while. You know, we'll throw this thing in there for the fucking schizos, you know? Yeah, and the thing is, like, after a while, after years of doing this, I've just come to the conclusion that it doesn't really matter, and, like, we do it more for fun, you know? It has to be. Because we're not going to crack any case open, and, hey, if we find this thing, we're going to show everybody. You could give people all the evidence they want. They're still not going to care. No one cares. You know, like the Project Bluebeam display that was here that me and Nia saw that day was up for hours and hours, and fucking nobody, it's like people were purposely trying not to look at it. It's like, look, there's a mountain floating in the sky. What the fuck is that? That's not there every day. What the fuck's going on? You know, the few people I pointed it out to were like, oh yeah, that's weird, and went on with their day. It was fucking creepy. That, not the fucking display, I kind of knew what that was. Some people will be creeped out about it, but no one here. You know, and I was on this street later on because I walked near to work, and you can still look up these side streets and you can see the mountains. It was right above the mountains, so there were just people going about their early evening. Didn't care. Didn't give a fuck. They got fishing right in front of it. And I went over there and I'm looking at it, I'm like, what the fuck is that? What? And you're like, yeah, I'd never seen that before. Goes back to fishing. I'm like, all right, there's something going on here. These people are... This is before I had my robot theory. It's not my robot theory. It's a theory that's existed in almost all cultures across hundreds of years, where there are different tiers of people, you know, that are aware, can become aware, and that will never be aware. Demon section. I was talking to someone in my comments who lives here, or used to live here, and we were talking about different places where there's a lot of demonic energy or whatever. And I always say this area right here, this place right here, is like a phone charger for negative entities. Every time I see someone that's kibbying out, or maybe they're always sitting here, and at night it attracts a lot of negative attention. Sometimes it's kangs with radio, sometimes it's just crazy homeless people, but there's definitely something about this area right here. This is one little section. You can feel it. I can feel it right now. I can feel it right now. It's like it's pulling. It's half my body's like, just go, keep moving, keep moving, keep moving. Yeah, I don't know what that is. I don't know what happened there. Something happened there. Where Longs is, where I was just in, I have a friend there who's part of my little Schizo Avengers that knows a lot of stuff about stuff. She's one of the few people on the island I talk to about these kind of things, and she was telling me that where Longs is, they used to have some kind of ritual thing there. It was like a temple that they used in rituals, and they had a lot of these around the island. Chinatown, right where Bank of America is, used to be one. Yeah, people don't know this shit. But and what it does is when you have all that kind of depth, it creates bad energy in an area. Like blood attracts demons. That's why blood sacrifice is always really good for, you know, it's necessary if you want to do something like that. It's like a shark, you know, the blood in the water of the sharks. There's the blood in metaphysical water. When you even when you prick yourself, when you draw blood, negative entities appear from air and just come right for you. Well, they don't appear from air. They manifest in the astral plane, metaphysical plane, the ether, whatever the fuck you want to call it. And they just start surrounding you, like swimming around you, waiting to get in, because they're always waiting to get in. They're just looking for you to drop right low enough to that low enough number of negativity, of frequency, of low enough frequency. And once you get that low frequency threshold, they can jump right in, like GTA, and then they're running the show. You know, I know it's like, I've had that happen to me before too. I mean, you don't know what you're doing, and later it's told to you or shown to you. But yeah, back in the day when I was a atheist guy, I'd have these meltdowns, and you know, Neil would be with me a lot of times, and of course it was tied to my mental health issues, and they would say, well, there's these psychotic breaks, things that can happen, you know, as part of my DID schizophrenia thing. More DID, I think, is what I was affected by. But anyway, when I would go in a lot of these things and have these little freakouts where I wasn't driving the bus, I would always scrawl a lot of crazy religious imagery and, you know, iconography, thank you. And I'd talk shit about Jesus, and I was always on about Jesus. And then when I'd come around, I'd be like, why was I don't believe in any of that stuff. I was a complete atheist guy. So I was like, I don't believe in any of that. Like, why was I talking about it? Well, because there was a demon running the show. Like, if you've ever been blackout drunk, you know, that horrible feeling that someone's telling you what you did, like, because what it is the way that works is your brain isn't creating short-term memory. So you're walking and you're moving and you're talking to people, but it's not saving anything. I don't know why that is. I'm sure if someone smarter could explain it. But when you that's what the scientific explanation is. Now, of course, me, alcohol, spirits, the reason to call it spirits, I think when it drops your frequency super low when you're drunk. You know, when you're drunk, when you're impaired on drugs, when you're, you know, same as being sad, depressed, fearful. Fear is the biggest one. That tanks your vibrational frequency, and that's why they always try to scare you, whether it's stuff on the news or anything. They're always trying to keep you in a fear state. When you're in a fear state, you're the easiest to control. It's the easiest to control someone that's in a fear state. The hardest time to control someone is in a state of mirth. You know, if you're laughing, they can't touch you. That's why that's where the saying comes from. I can't take a joke. You know, the devil can't take a joke too. He doesn't like mockery. He doesn't like being laughed at. And the reason really is because he can't control you when you're laughing. When you're laughing, you're not in fear. And to be in fear is when you control the most. You sound like fucking Yoda. Which is ironic, because we both have a hand up our ass. Nice Friday morning here. Before noon. I think it's like 8:30. I love coming out this time. Especially if you're doing videos, it's the best time. Because no one gives a fuck what you're doing. For the most part, people leave you alone. The problem people, they wake up later. You know, when there's a lot of people out, you'll notice I move a lot faster. I'm bobbing and weaving a lot, because if you just keep moving, it's hard for people to fuck with you, or not even to fuck with you, just to bother you, ask you things. I always say about this place, it's like when you stop in one place for any period of time, it's almost like a taxi where the meter starts going. And when you get into a taxi, then you're just going, how much to charge you? It's like the nonsense meter starts here. And the longer you stay in the same place, the higher the probability of having to deal with nonsense is. You know, people notice you in one spot. They're, hey, what are you doing? Sometimes there'll be a couple guys like, hey, see this guy over here. It sounds paranoid, but that's exactly what's happened. Experience, man. That, I mean, it depends on what area too. Like down by the beach, you get a lot more of that. Chinatown, you get a lot more of that. Usually where I'm walking, Waikiki, up on Kalakaua over there, the main shopping street, it's usually pretty chill. You know, you can. The only problem up there is having to deal with tourists. You know. Yeah. But it's a minor thing. You know, I'm meant to be here. I'm supposed to be here, so here I am. Wherever you go, there you are. All right. I gotta concentrate on walking home now. Till next time. Thanks for dropping by. And don't blame the teacher. Blame the school. Along the LOI.